Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, 2 weeks of absolute hell. Co-parenting, with my Mil. MIL big mad about 2023 vacation plans. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. 2 weeks of absolute hell. I had my baby 4 weeks ago. My in-laws just left tonight after a 2-week stay. My MIL is absolutely insane. She is always sick, in and out of the hospital. But it's usually after someone tries setting a boundary with her. We had originally requested that they wait a month or so to visit so that we had time to adjust to our new baby and our oldest had time to adjust to having a baby sibling, but MIL kept making rude remarks and asking if my mom, who lives 20 minutes away, had met our baby yet. In-laws live 15 hours away, so their stay is obviously longer than a quick visit. So DH told them that they could visit sooner, thinking they'd come for a long weekend, and they let us know they'd be here for 2 weeks. And they did just that. MIL constantly posts on social media even after she is asked not to, posts personal information about us/kids and loses her mind every time we ask her to remove the posts or the info, and most recently started a fundraiser for herself because of her medical issues and shares it hourly. We have also asked for pictures to not be posted of the kids on her social media because she adds everyone and she posts all the time and then loses her mind when she is asked to remove them. She kissed baby on the mouth, constantly took him out of my arms, compared everything about our baby to my husband, compared everything about how I parent to herself, brought bags and bags and bags of stuff for our older child even after she was asked not to. We are minimalists and in a smaller home while we wait for our home to be finished. So we have very limited space, and it was all just random junk she had in her house. Including loud musical instruments, a huge indoor tent, costume jewelry with beads falling off, etc. Making comments like, "You need to make baby a bottle so I can bond with them," and "I would breastfeed you if I could." Ew. And, "I might just bring you home with me, you look like you could be ours anyway." After she was asked not to kiss baby on the face, she left our home and went to the ER and made sure to post about how she's very ill. And then posted that I have OCD because I cleaned my house so much. She is already talking about visiting in a few months. Husband is not great at creating boundaries with them. But I can't do another visit that soon and I can never do another 2 weeks visit. How do we create this boundary? Especially with visits during the school year, our oldest thrives on routine, especially with school. She just really triggers me and I am extremely anxious about the thought of another visit. You say no. That's all you need to do. You have all the power and she has nothing. No, MIL, you're not invited to visit until we invite you to visit. No, MIL, you can't stay with us. You'll have to stay in a hotel. No, MIL, we aren't accepting gifts from you right now. No, MIL, you're not allowed to hold the baby because you make inappropriate comments. No, MIL, you're not allowed to take pictures. You don't respect our privacy. No, MIL, we're not talking about that because you gossip. I know your nice girl training is screaming right now and you think you can't say these things. But I promise you, you can. The world will not end. Nobody will die. MIL will have a tantrum, but you can ignore tantrums, right? You don't give in when your older child pitches a fit. This is no different. So take a deep breath and remember, this is your house and your family and she has no power. I wanna say it'll be easy, because you won't be hosting. Take the kids and go out. Take the oldest to her school. And go to your mom's. Don't cook or clean. They will be staying at a hotel and you will only receive visitors when your husband is home. And I have to say I am enraged on your behalf. Your husband needs to grow a pair. I wish I could give you 1,000 upvotes for this comment. She's so sick she went to the ER after staying with you. But she was kissing your newborn baby on the face. This is a great point to bring up with her hubby. This is a classic manipulation tactic. The mouth, even. If he has trouble setting boundaries, then visits will have to be delayed until he learns. I think you need to have a long talk about what you both want here and how to get it. Therapy could help you two work out what you want and how to achieve it. This is a skill like any other, setting boundaries. If you learn how to handle it, it gets easier. She's so overbearing that this isn't a situation where you can back off on learning it because it seems hard and scary to do it. If he doesn't want things in his nuclear family to fall apart, he's going to have to get comfortable with boundaries, and you will as well, because you are a team and will do this together. For her entire visit next time, you and kids stay at your mom's. If spouse lets her stay, he, and only he, deals with them. Sounds like she obeyed none of your house rules. None. It made you quite ill. The only cure is your mom's chicken noodle soup. Eaten in her kitchen and sleeping in her house. DH needs to realize no boundaries means no visit. She has proven she isn't going to obey them. That makes her unsafe with respect to your children in your home. Can your mom be a mama bear? If she can, let MIL visit you and the kids there, under your parents' supervision. Because I bet she isn't going to pull the same level *T there, and it may be that you need to observe her obeying rules by seeing them obeyed at your mom's. If your DH isn't going to let you be the woman of the house in your own home while she is there, then don't be there. Make him create the boundary. They are his parents, so this is more than fair. They are being absolutely horrible. I tell him to tell them they are welcome to come for 3/4 days, however many months from now you think it'll take you to recover, but tell them to wait to book till sooner to make sure you're up to it. Stay in a hotel, he can provide a list, provided that they don't one. Kiss baby, 2. Have any recent hospital visits 3. Disparage either of you on SM or otherwise 4. Ever take a baby out of a mother's arms again 5. Whatever else you want. Tell your husband if he doesn't do this, since you and your kids' routine will be so disrupted anyway, you 3 are going to go stay in a hotel, make it a fun one with a pool and breakfast provided, while he deals with his parents and all the household duties, and if his parents play nice you may see them for lunch. How? First make it clear to her so that he can support you, or you will take the baby and disappear when his parents are there. Not, oh, please, honey, but, this is what will happen. Plan to either stay with your folks or at a hotel. Assuming he figures out who he's married to, the 2 of you decide on boundaries. I would recommend that boundary number 1 be that they do not stay at your house. Period. Them having a hotel room will give you a break every evening/morning. It will also make it considerably pricier for them to stay for weeks. Wear your baby, that will stop the snatching. If you allow her to hold your child, expect her to hand the baby over immediately when asked. She doesn't. Visit's over. Same if she kisses your child, since you can't control yourself, MIL, this visit is over. We'll try again. But again, this will take your husband's support. If you don't have it, be prepared, and I mean have the diaper bag packed and ready to go, to take off with your baby and stay away until they are gone. It sounds like an awful visit. I have a question that doesn't need an answer and may help you. If she needs a fundraiser, how can she afford to come from that far away and come if she's that sick? I'm almost certain that she used the fundraiser to pay for the trip, unfortunately. Step 1, get spouse to therapy. Step 2, give consequences for boundary breaking, every time. Step 3, your spouse can choose to have a relationship with them while they're in time out but has to leave you and kids out of any updates. You absolutely should not have them visit again anytime soon, and when you do allow them to schedule a visit, you need the boundary of they stay somewhere else and you're only available for X amount of days, between the hours of X and X, they book longer, that's too bad, you're not seeing them after the time you said, they can sightsee, they show up unannounced, you don't open the door and send them away. Every time they stomp a boundary, the longer the timeout will be. Oh, and I would baby wear around your JustNoMil from now on. Co-parenting, with my Mil. She can be so wonderful, so amazing, caring, creative, kind. Then she ruins it. To start with, we live in her house. I absolutely hate it. My mind is not in a great place due to this alone. I always feel watched and judged. To make it even better, we have a son. Ever since having my son, I've heard everything. My house, my rules, I've had 2 kids, I know what I'm doing, I've done it with my kids and they're all fine, and when I remind her he's breastfed, she tried to give him water from 3 months onwards, before his feed not after, well my friend did it, IDGAF if your friend did it. Every rule I had went out the window. I didn't want her Jack Russell near my baby because I don't trust dogs near babies. I see her Jack Russell tugging on the foot of his pajamas, dragged him a few cm, she says, she's only playing. Her new puppy ended up biting him as well and she plays it off. I didn't want anyone kissing him because of COVID and cold sores, guess what, 3 weeks old with her and her sisters kissing him on the lips. I didn't want a dummy for him. Just try him on it, no, my kids had one, then she put it in his mouth anyway. He never liked it and spat it out, but she kept doing it. Now he won't latch on my breast and is overly attached to the dummy. I want to make my own baby food for him, she goes and buys a bunch of jars of it, I say, I'm going to make some food for him, she says, use all that I've bought you first so it isn't wasted, then it magically replenishes itself. If I'm talking to someone about my baby, she butts in and takes over the conversation, oh well actually he sleeps all through the night, when I've just said he still wakes up, funny thing is she ain't there so how does she know? She also shows him off on social media as if he's hers. Pictures of her family with him everywhere but never me with him. She also gives unwanted advice. I wouldn't breastfeed because he'll get attachment issues, I wouldn't cuddle him like that because he'll cry every time he gets hurt, I gave my kids jars of food and they loved all the different flavors, you should cut down on milk. My OH doesn't know how to deal with it because if we show any hint of insubordination and it's, I'm only trying to help you, I never had any help, I do everything for you, nobody else would help you, then a strop and silent treatment. I need help, I don't know what to do. It's making my depression drop so much lower. I need advice. Edit. I also have severe anxiety to the point I can't speak my mind and I'm easily seen as a people pleaser, and easily peer pressured, because I fear being hated. That makes life with her worse and is probably one of the problems I struggle with keeping boundaries in place. She just pushes and tells me bad situations boundaries caused her, then I struggle to keep bringing the boundaries up and start second-guessing myself. Edit 2. Said no a few times today, slow but steady, had my baby on me for 6 hours now, not on me, but on my lap, next to me or in his pushchair or bed next to me. She's thrown a few strops and slammed doors but overall I thought it'd be worse. I think she yelled at OH but he walked off. Also threw the dummy away. No JustNoMil. We are the parents. No JustNoMil, you had your turn parenting. This is our time. JustNoMil's house, JustNoMil's rules, my baby, my rules. Keep your nippy dog far away from my baby because if it does anything to my baby I will blame you and report the dog to authorities. She'll be fined, the dog removed or destroyed. I know that, you know that and she knows that. Dog, as soon as JustNoMil calls the dog up to baby, take baby away. Shoo the dog away. Have so put it out. Her friend did something, is friend a DR or nurse, because that is not how things are done these days. Ignore her about the food. Make your own and tell her, we'll use your jars some other time. I've been wanting to make my baby food for a long time, maybe you will use the jars, maybe you won't. Chuck the dummy out. Must have lost it, each time one is bought, chuck it. The water bottle, no JustNoMil, and empty it in a plant or sink. And yours so backs you and does the same. Consistency and a united front is key. He needs to be saying things like, JNM, I don't want to hear you complaining about the mother of my baby. Stop trying to rule my family. Where is your partner? He needs to get his mother under control. If he refuses, you need to leave. He tries but she's uncontrollable. Even his dad and brother can't get her to calm down. It's like sweet caring woman to fiery ball of hate in seconds. I've read some of your comments. Just tell her no. That's a complete sentence. It may be her house, but it's your baby. Your baby, your rules. Tell her how it is and then leave the room. I don't need help, but thank you. That doesn't work for us. This is the way that works best for us. You did that with your kids, but this is how I'm going to do it with my kids. You are the grandma, not the parent. Please remember that. If she throws a tantrum, especially if she gets violent, leave. Go to a park, go to a family member's house, go someplace safe and text someone, OH, a friend, a family member, MIL is doing XYZ and I'm scared. I'll be at place for a while. I'll text you when I feel safe enough to go back home. You are the mother. You do not have to sacrifice the way you want to parent to appease anyone. You aren't co-parenting anymore. You are the parent. I truly think you need to leave your so and just escape with your baby on your own. It'll take years of therapy and work for so to come out of the FOG, handle their guilt and trauma, and be able to put LO and you first. You don't have years. You're already at your breaking point. There's a lot of good advice here. One thing I'd add is that you need to get away from your MIL as much as possible. I understand moving out may not be an option, but you can still try to spend the least amount of time you can with her. Whenever you have a confrontation, grab the baby and walk away. If you can't leave the house, go to your bedroom and shut the door. Look into places where you can take the baby for extended periods of time. Parks are ideal. Indoor shopping centers or malls are good too. Libraries. Community centers. Even a fast food restaurant where you can linger over a coffee or tea. See if there are any mommy and me type groups in your area. Or try to reach out to other mothers or groups via social media. As far as changing things in your home, I would focus on safety, and the biggest concern is the dogs and your MIL's negligence. Keep your child away from the dogs. You may also want to report the dog for biting your son. Let MIL know if she doesn't watch her dogs, they may act out and get put down. When she throws her little angry tantrums, be yelling and throwing things around, just take your LO and walk away. Go to your room, outside, for a walk, anywhere. It's no fun having a fit when there is no one to witness it. I'll do this next time, but room isn't an option. I'd have to go for a walk because she tends to follow and continue arguing. This is my new favorite quote. If keeping the peace requires you to betray yourself, I am pretty sure that is not peace, and I am pretty sure it is not worth keeping. Perhaps it is time to try. I am okay with your disappointment in me. Rachel Mary Stafford. My mom tried to use the "my house, my rules" line in the early days. My reply has always been, "My child, my rules. You can't really trump that one. And move out as soon as you can, you'll relax much more around baby, and baby will pick up on it. The only advice I have for you is to get the hell out of there, with or without the father. Yes. Leave. Find somewhere else to move to. If your DH is not in agreement, leave with your child. It's only going to get worse, much worse. I did once after a huge argument. Only place I had was my parents who smoke. They smoked outside and used towels under doors to keep smoke away from my baby, and Mill would say, "Your area is rough, your child stinks of smoke, I bet your parents are trying to parent him," and my OH kept saying, "Give my mom one more chance. I don't want arguing, it won't happen again," etc. OH argued with my mom and got kicked out, so I followed him, straight back to his mom's. Literally hell on earth for me. I can't even get a place because the waiting list is so long, I'm stuck. MIL big mad about 2023 vacation plans. So, I had some fresh MIL drama come up in the past few hours, and honestly out of nowhere. Here goes. Some backstory is that my 36F and husband, DH, 38M, love national parks. We've always dreamed of doing a trip where we can visit a bunch of them in a row, but our jobs and young son pretty much prevented that from happening. Now that our son is kindergarten age and our jobs have become a little more flexible, we decided that next spring, 2023, we would do a series of trips to go to 4 parks, starting in January and working our way through them from warmest to coldest, going on a 3 to 5 day trip about once a month through April. We plan to take our son with us on all of these trips, except for the first one in January would just be me and DH. My SIL lives near us, we get along well and she loves kids, hers are a bit older, and has offered multiple times to take our son if we ever wanted to do a couple-only vacation, etc. So, let's get to the drama. SIL called DH today to chat/catch up, and they got to talking about travel plans. DH told her about this parks tour we want to do, and asked her if she'd have our son for a few days in January when we do the first leg of the trip. She graciously says yes, and then mentions she's planning a week-long family vacation, for families, including ourselves plus MIL/FIL plus DH's siblings and their spouses and kids, in August 2023. DH says, "That could be nice, we'll keep it in mind and let you know." A few hours later, DH gets a wall of text from his mom, MIL, basically telling us we need to give an answer right now if we're going on this family August trip. It's some sort of timeshare deal and SIL has to lock in the dates by tomorrow. She says that SIL is stressed that we never commit to things, but doesn't want to upset anyone, so MIL feels like she needs to step in and say something. She basically insinuates that DH and I are really hurting SIL and being a huge pain in the ass/problem for the rest of the family who have no problem committing to something that is 13 months away. We literally just heard about this August trip a few hours earlier, and SIL never mentioned a deadline she needed an answer by. DH was annoyed by his mom's text, so he just said, "Okay, sorry, didn't realize it was urgent, count us out." On the one hand, SIL is very passive and conflict avoidant, so I wouldn't be surprised if she acted cool to DH and then complained to MIL that we didn't give an answer right away. On the other hand, I feel like the timing of MIL's outburst is too convenient since we just told SIL about our travel plans. I wonder if MIL heard about it and was like, "Oh, so they can plan this months-long adventure and ask for help with their kid," yet can't commit to a family trip a few months later. Obviously I can't read her mind to know her motives, but it's so strange that all of this blew up within hours of DH talking to SIL. DH and I feel confident in our actions/decisions because seriously, who tells other grown adults when/how they make travel plans, especially a year plus in the future? DH is a tiny bit worried that SIL is hurt we didn't immediately jump on board her vacation idea, but I'm just grossed out by the meddling/passive aggressiveness/bossing us around that I don't really care. Anyway, that's it for the time being. I suggested that DH ask his sister directly, but there's a good chance she'd just gloss over it. MIL is probably seething right now, so time will tell if she keeps trying to fight/guilt is on this. ETA, I did not expect so many responses. Thank you all so much for your insights and feedback. It's so helpful and I've been thinking about these comments all day, and while talking to DH about it. Here's what's happened so far. DH did call SIL, and was like, didn't realize this August trip was a big deal, Mom is texting me that you need an answer now. And SIL was like, it's totally fine, we booked the timeshares and you guys should come if you can. DH told her we'll try to make it work and we'll get our own place if need be. And, that was it. If SIL is honestly cool about it, then MIL made up all the drama from nothing. I don't want to confront MIL on this, because what's the point? We all kinda see what she's doing, and she's probably beyond change, ick. Okay, sorry, didn't realize it was urgent, count us out. This is such an awesome response to her meddling and overstepping rudeness. I'm sure that this is not the response that she was expecting and will try to backpedal, gaslight and rug sweep as their vacation gets closer. The only suggestion I would make though is for your so to reach out to his sister and ask her if she was upset about your lack of decision and get them to talk out anything that might be bothering them. Unfortunately, we've been in a very similar situation with my husband's sister and his mom. My husband ended up resenting his sister for a while because why wouldn't she just be an adult and say something? It turns out that his mom was the one with the problem. His sister wasn't upset at all and then no clue that their mom had sent him a horrible text in defense of her. If your SIL has agreed to watch your LO, it might be worth it to have this talk just to make sure she's really not upset and might back out at the last minute. This reeks of triangulation. This is way more about what MIL wants than what SIL wants. You have zero evidence that SIL cares all that much about this other than MIL's highly questionable assertion. By all means contact SIL. Confirm that you won't be available for the big family trip next year because you already have plans for 2023 vacations, wish them a wonderful trip and ask what date would be a good time to chat about 2024 in plenty of time so that no one gets stressed. We had this same issue. Here's your response. I'm sorry, we cannot firmly commit to coming at this time. Please go ahead and book this for you guys. If the timing works out for us, we will simply rent an Airbnb nearby to vacation with you. Do not rent a larger place with us in mind. Yep, DH just had that conversation with SIL and said the same thing. It's not like we're totally out, we just don't know yet. If we do come, we'll get our own place near you guys. Apparently SIL thought this was a great plan and it was a quick/pleasant convo, so I don't even know what MIL is going on about. I'd talked to SIL about it. Don't take MIL's word for it, sounds like she was jealous of your plans and wanted to throw a spanner in the works. Personally, I'd ring SIL, say that MIL says you need to know right now, so we will have to regrettably say no. I bet there is no deadline. I suggested that DH ask his sister directly, but there's a good chance she'd just gloss over it. I think DH may want to let SIL know directly, hey, Mom mentioned you needed to know quickly if we can come in August or not. Since we just aren't sure we can make it, go ahead and make your plans without us. That way MIL isn't an automatic go-between. My JMM has called me to speak about how my adult sibling was feeling, implying I needed to do something about it. I told her my sibling and I are both adults, both married and living our own lives, and if sibling wants to discuss something with me, they can contact me anytime. This did not go over well at the time, but she backed off and didn't get involved in my relationship with my sibling, at least to me, again for years. I have a NOMIL, rule number 1: never trust their version of events. If my parents ever called me and mentioned anything concerning my little brother, I'd listen but immediately call my brother afterwards and ask him for his version of events before forming an opinion and interfering. My parents have happily used me as a third parent for him my whole life. That's how we've always fought against my mother's lifelong attempts to divide and conquer by way of triangulation. DH needs to call Sil immediately and begin forging an open, honest relationship. This. Avoid Mil as a go-between and contact Sil directly to ask. What an odd reaction. Mentioning a deadline isn't aggressive or confrontational at all that your Sil would have even needed to worry about it. I mean, you're talking about vacations. It wasn't a difficult subject that one might think, okay, she doesn't know how to approach it. So I don't even think that's the case, to be honest. Is your MIL maybe not angry that you're not talking to her about your plans? Not asking her to look after your son, maybe upset even that you haven't invited her to go with? Is she that type of person? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.